We are live. We are live.
Live, prime time, live and in action.
Vocal Dialect, Season 1, Episode 6. We talking about the Eclipse family. What did it do for us? We got Queen got us hope in the building. Kenwato I kill. And the lovely Shelly Amaset. Greetings, peace and power. Happy, I'm glad you joined us tonight. I'm Knowledge Born 7, 360 degrees of the cipher. What did the Eclipse do? Talk to me.
What did it do? What did it do?
What did it do?
Before I had brought Shelly on set on here on this live feed tonight. Cause she more in tune than I am, cause I would be sitting back just listening.
Just a little. I'm not an expert. Just, to my level of understanding, my level of understanding regarding the solar eclipse. And I watch a lot of things on YouTube, and I listen to a lot of astrologers and tarot readers, and they, I learn from them what they say about it, because, our zodiac signs have a lot to do with astrology and the way that whatever the planets are doing, the solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, and the retrogrades and all of that stuff. It has a lot to do. It changes the energy in the atmosphere. So, I mean, I know that much. And I know that it changes the energy regarding, people, places, and things. So with that being said, when it happened, prior to the eclipse happening, there was a lunar eclipse. Since you said like 2 weeks prior.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's what made this one so significant. That's why they were. It was. It did what happened. And I was listening to you, sis. I just pulled it up. Hold on, I screenshot it. Okay, so the sun, moon, and earth line up. And what kind of eclipse we see? A solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the sun and the earth, blocking at least some of the sun and casting a shadow on the earth. And it supposedly only happens like 2 years. What, every 2 years?
The next one actually will be in 2033, a total eclipse.
Okay,
a total eclipse. But yeah, you're right. Eclipses happen all the time.
But that was a total.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I got right now regarding the solar eclipse. I will look a couple more things up, but I do know that, with that happening, the lunar, and if you've been paying attention to what's been going on, a lot of things happened prior to the eclipse. And I saw your video, sis, where you were talking about the eclipse and war.
Mm-hmm.
And the bridge in Maryland, that happened around the lunar,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we could talk about that too, because think about that movie, Leave the World Behind. We were, we did a podcast on that, and we were foreshadowing. We said it was a bunch of foreshadowing, like what is going to come about from this movie. And we keep talking about how the Civil War movie, I think, either just came out or is supposed to come out this week.
It came out.
It came out. Okay. So thinking about that, how that vessel came on the shoreline, and now the same thing exactly happened. So to me, like, two things were happening. Either it had something to do with the energy of the eclipse, or it has something to do with the solar flares. So we're in Aries energy, we're in Aries season. Shout out to all the Aries. This is also the beginning of the astrological new year, which we recently just celebrated the new year during the spring equinox. So, when I think of Aries, I think of like fiery people who are very impulsive and have great energy. They start off the year, they're known as leaders, people who are very aggressive in energy. So when I think about, I know that's you to the T, huh? So when I think about, this solar eclipse that just happened, I'm like, okay, it's in Aries. We also just had this moon that was also in eclipse energy, and now we have this total eclipse. And thinking about the sun being as hot as it is, I was just watching that some X-class flares hit the earth today, which is probably why we were in the 80s for a great portion of the East Coast, with the solar flares hitting Earth today. And it's no wonder why there's so many chemtrails being sprayed. There's so much chemicals being pumped up in the air because they're technically afraid of all of the radiation that's going to hit. So back to the eclipse topic, thinking about what does that do for us as a people? What will we be affected by it now that we're out of that shadow period? So as Sister said, I posted a video on my Facebook page where I said, in the next 40 days, we'll see a lot of things being revealed for the simple fact that, we were talking about offline how there was a ritual that was done due to all of the planets that were in the stars, or in the sky at the same time during this eclipse energy. It's been known that they always perform rituals, they meaning the elites or these white people that run the planet, perform rituals during these times, to kind of keep themselves in power, if you will. And when I think about these rituals that are being performed, it goes into what Shelley was saying about how, when you're thinking about the shadow periods, you can actually perform rituals a little before or a little after, whether if it's a full moon or a new moon. Same goes for the eclipse energy. You can also have rituals done. For me specifically, I meditated during that time. I took a midday nap because I'm like, what energies are going to be sent down to Earth from our ancestors, from planet, I say Ra as a planet, but as from the sun coming down to us, during that time. And I've had some really awakening situations that happened to me. So it was almost as if things were being foreshadowed for my life during that sleep phase of the solar eclipse when it passed over Maryland. And so now, okay, what's happening? So if I'm thinking or predicting war in the next 40 days, because during this time when there was a solar eclipse, when Einstein was living, he wanted to perform some scientific tests or what have you, so that he can actually predict his like relativity equation or what have you. But what ended up happening was his formula was used to create the atomic bomb, and now World War II started. So I'm like, okay, they're now doing the same exact thing. History's repeating itself once again, where now they have CERN, this magnificent machine that's in Geneva in Switzerland that is located at the same place where they created the World Wide Net. And now these men, or who also performed a ritual there most recently, are now trying to recreate the Big Bang Theory, basically playing God, creating portals in the sky, creating energy that they have no business trying to recreate. So while we are outside watching this solar eclipse, what was really happening on the back end, during the other side of the moon, if you will? Because while we only saw certain periods of darkness, what on the other side of the world is already nighttime. So what were they doing on that side? These are the things that are plaguing in my head. What were they doing?
I was thinking about that the other day, and I don't know
Yeah.
if the solar eclipse had something to do with, because I also stated that it brings forth a lot of truth, a lot of truth, a lot of awareness. Not to mention, we're seeing every day that this year is bringing forth a lot of truth. Is last year was like an awakening. This year is like people are just learning the truth about a lot of stuff. I think it was last year was preparing everyone to
Yes.
be awake and to be woke enough to understand the concept of what's actually happening. All of this truth coming out. The fall of Hollywood, the fall of a hip hop empire. You know what I'm saying? Just so many things are just dismantling that we used to hold so dear and gave so much power to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like all of it is just dismantling. And I was thinking the other day what you were saying about on the other side of the world. on the other side of the planet, the sun is always shining somewhere when it's not shining here. You know what I'm saying? The moon is always glaring somewhere when it's not glaring here. So what type of rituals were they doing to bring forth whatever kind of energy we got going on over here right now? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I just Googled the spiritual meaning of 50. And the first thing that popped up was freedom and release. So the number 50 frequently symbolizes notions of freedom and release. This is seen as a reflection of the human spirit's aspiration for liberation, much like a bird breaking free from a cage. It makes me think about the episode that we just did on rappers, drill rappers. Do drill rappers deserve death? And thinking what you just said, we just embarked on the 50th year of hip hop. And we quickly we talk about this often, even when we were connecting on at the goddess table one day, how rap was once all about consciousness and now it's not. So are we really trying to break free or release ourselves from hip hop? You know, like what exactly are we trying to do? We know that they done rituals and have our men, black men doing rituals in Hollywood, selling their souls. You know, is it a call for release? Is it a call for liberation? I do want to say one other thing about the dark side of the moon, you know, or with the eclipse. I heard someone say it's the eye of the sun because it is dark and it looks like an iris or something, you know, like you're looking into the earth's eye. But thinking about what dark energy does, I think for me, when I thought about the eclipse, I think about karma and thinking about a lot of people think karma is negative, and that's not always the case. You know, some people don't want to hear karma, so they call it dharma, which is the good side of karma. And depending on the energy that you're putting out into the world today, whether if it's positive or negative, that's basically what you're going to sow, right? You reap what you sow. The energy that you put out is what you're going to get back. You know, there's so many different teachings that call it something different, but we're going to call it what it is right now. It's karma. So depending on the energy that you're putting out or have put out, you know, and as Shelley said, it's a time for a revelation. It's a time for revealing you know, what will we now receive during this time? What will it look like in the next 40 days? You know, what will you receive, especially now because we are also in a Mercury retrograde? You know, they're saying there's like a lot of technology that'll go down. Right now, there's like a whole bunch of weather stations that are down all across the country as we speak. So it's like technology is going down, things are being revealed. You got X-class solar flares hitting the earth. You got Hollywood crumbling. The wheel of fortune is really upon us. So what does this look like for us going forward as a people?
I believe nothing happened, especially if you walking around eating ding dongs, zingers, ho hos, hot dogs and stuff. I don't think nothing happened to you. It was just a normal day for that particular type of person. Because my reading and understanding the information, you must prepare for these particular events that happen to us cosmically, because it is a cosmic event, and we are children of the stars.
Right,
So by us being children of the stars, we being cosmic people, we supposed to have a proper preparation. And definitely before eclipse, you're supposed to fast 3 days. And I also heard you young ladies say, 2 days before, 2 days after. And we supposed to be ready for these particular phenomenons because one, we're getting something from that by us being children of the sun. And we are children of the sun because the star in the sky belongs to us. It does not belong to any other ethnic group. I can prove it. I have the science behind it. The star in the sky only belongs to us. That's why they say we're children of the sun, or we're the children of Ra, which is the sun. So for those particular people who just bought glasses and stuff, they just saw eclipse. Do you have people out in, was it Mexico and was it Texas they were going? They were barbecuing,
Yeah.
eating hot dogs. They had the deep fried Snickers. They had all of that. People were going live, like we watching the eclipse, we eating the food. So you just seeing the eclipse. It was just another day. It was
Mm,
just something spectacular that happened to a regular person. But us on this broadcast, we're not regular people. because we
Okay.
stay in tune with ourselves. We have knowledge of self, we do for self, and we think for self. And anytime you moving in that higher echelon and you doing for self, you thinking for self, and you know you have knowledge of self because you believing in your in the probabilities of you having the melanated skin and us having that star like body because we got gold in us, we got silver in us, we got copper in us. All that stuff matters. You know what I'm saying? To me, to the normal, person, black person, I think it's just a normal day for them. But for someone like us, of course, we supposed to look for certain things to happen and certain things to change. And in every season, there's something that's supposed to change you in a better way. You're not supposed to stay the same all the time. You
Right.
definitely, that's the whole thing of recreating yourself. Even though I'm an Aries, so if I'm an Aries, I do have a fire spirit, but you have to learn how to balance that fire as well. And I think that's called pyrokinesis when you learn the ability to control the fire that's inside of you, and you can actually use it like chi. So somebody like me, I'm an Aries, I have a fire spirit. I'm supposed to have the ability where I can set things on fire with my mind. That's using telekinesis, where I can set things on fire with my hand and things of that nature using chi. But for the regular person, I don't think anything happened. It was just a normal day. They bought some glasses. They got for the 9 to 5 corporate person. They got off work early. See the eclipse. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking that, what you said, when you were saying the rituals and the fasting, is it ironic that the eclipse came at the end of Ramadan?
Mm.
A
Mm,
spiritual, a
Month.
yeah,
spiritual celebration, a spiritual fast, a spiritual, where people are
yeah.
just, you know, they're getting more in tune with themselves, trying to get more, because I don't practice it, but I know that it's a beautiful practice, you
Mm.
know, even without, just separating myself from from Islam or being Muslim. The celebration of Ramadan is a dope celebration, the way they do the fasting, where you
Yeah,
don't eat anything all day, you just drink
yeah,
water, and then when the sun goes down, you eat. You can eat when the sun
yeah.
go down, and the sun come up, you don't eat anything until the sun go down,
Right.
so that's a great celebration. And I do y'all think that was a coincidence that it happened around the end of Ramadan as well?
I don't think it was a coincidence, but a lot of practices, especially in the Bible, when you fast from 6 to 6, that's considered one day. So I don't think it was a coincidence. I think at certain periods of time, things are supposed to happen because they can't control everything. Even though they stole our science, they have regurgitated all our information and given it back to us. They can't control everything. Some things are gonna happen. Just simple as that. But for those who did participate in Ramadan, or for those who were fasting, or for those who were in tune, I'm pretty sure within the next quarter, you're going to receive something. You're going to get something, some type of
And
inclination.
same thing with Christianity and Lent, happened around the time, month
Right,
prior Lent
right,
happened, where you're fasting from something for
Right.
40
right.
days. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's all connected. I really, and the fact that I think it was actually a preparation
Mm-hmm.
of what's to come, the sacrifice that you're making.
The ascension.
I say,
Yeah.
for the, particular spiritualities, you know.
Yeah. I don't think that, so, to your point, knowledge, if you didn't heed the call or haven't heeded to the call in the last, let's say, 6 months, I'm a little concerned about where you are mentally and what your
Mm,
energy is like internally. Obviously, it speaks for itself externally. I'm just thinking about all of the topics that we've spoke about. We did the marijuana and ganja comparison. What we still have this election unfolding. Iran just did the bombings. There's so many things that are still unfolding and soon to be revealed. And it's like people are still stuck in, it's summertime, it's partying, drinking, smoking, like what you're still in that same loop, in that same time.
Party and bullshit. Okay.
Party and bullshit
Party
is
and
right.
bullshit and party. Niggas not gonna be ready for the revolution because they gonna be partying and bullshit.
Bullshit.
You know what I'm saying?
We gonna flip the currency and be stuck.
Hey, let's give a shout out to the people who tuned in. Well, we got Brother Shaka Sankofa on the feed. Peace and Black Power.
Peace and Black Power, brother Shaka.
We got the brother
Peace,
Michael
brother. Peace.
Pride. I hope I said it right. Peace and Black
Peace,
Power.
brother.
Hey man, everybody on the feed, like, share this feed, like and comment on this feed. You know what I mean? Help us get into the algorithm. All right.
Yeah.
I do want to say this for the ones who believe they are in some form of control. Some of the information they can, manipulate to their advantage, but it takes there are only so many Europeans, and there are only a handful who have some of the probabilities and capabilities that a melanated black man and woman can do spiritually. And those particular Europeans or people in those particular other ethnic groups can do certain things, they are held to a high esteem. But I'm gonna tell you this though, and that's because they have tapped into that particular melanin that's in them. Don't forget the chemical melanin is in every one, but it's also due to the pineal gland as far as how much melanin that you can pretty much manipulate. I'm not gonna say manipulate, that you can enhance, and then you can have these superhuman, super spiritual capabilities and stuff like that. Some of them, they're gonna hold them to a high esteem, but they can't control everything. Shelley made a very significant point. A lot of Lent, dealing with the Christians and all of that. Everyone's fasting. So cosmically and universally, the Wazungu knows that we're going to connect on some level. And they try to always interfere with those connections. It's very important to interfere with those connections because if everything comes from you, and I'm saying black people, then they know they have to keep it under control in order to keep a certain amount of power that they have. Before us, Iran and Israel and those countries over there, that's called the war of commerce. And the war of commerce is controlling a particular area, a particular region, so they can keep manipulating the money, the monies, or the currencies,
Right.
so they can have that control. And war is always the best way, one, like they say, to depopulate, two, to get rid of certain families or certain family origins, because certain people believe like they just sick and tired, so they just wipe them out. But that's still the war of commerce. They've been doing that for forever. But I will say this: in ancient Kemet, we did not have the war of commerce because we build, we trade, and we negotiated with each other. The biggest wars we ever had was me and Ken has a tribe. I send my best man, Ken send his best man. Whoever win, they win. And then we discuss, okay, give me 100 asses, 100 oxen. Give me, give me 7 virgins, stuff like that. What they doing now is just, bloody murder.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
absolutely.
Hey, I forgot. I can't forget this brother Lee Clinton on the feed. He's been following us ever since Rebel Vision Television consistently. Got about you. We got the sister Netta B on.
Hey Netta.
No, we got the we got the name. We got Malik Mohammed. We got a few other on the feed. Hey, like and share this video, this live feed, and subscribe to the page, man. Appreciate the support.
Knowledge you said.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm sorry, you know. I was just talking about what Knowledge said too.
Okay, yeah, do your thing.
About what are they doing if they're not, paying attention to what's going on and what happened with the solar eclipse. He mentioned the pineal gland. These people's pineal glands is calcified out here.
Yeah.
They still brushing with Colgate. What you expect?
You know what I'm saying? They're not, you know what I'm saying? They're not doing anything to, they still eat pork, stuff with fluoride in it. Fluoride is the gas, everybody. Don't do stuff like that. Stop using deodorant with aluminum in it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how you save your pineal gland, by doing things like that, eating plants. You know what I'm saying? Leave the pork alone, okay? Leave it alone.
Right.
I was just,
I'm not a Christian,
what?
but the Bible even tell you not to eat it, you know?
Right.
You're so in line with what I was going to say too, because it's important for you to be as light as possible with this transformation we're going through, right? And we say we're ascending to the fifth dimension. People are consistently talking about how we're transitioning from the 3D to the 5D, and to build off of what Knowledge was saying as well, and your point, to be as light as possible so that we can tap into that higher realms and those tingling feelings that we're getting, because I feel like my spidey senses is on 1,000 right now. I know when somebody's going to text my phone. I know when somebody's going to call me. I could feel somebody energy, all of a sudden now. We're so aligned and connected right now. And if you aren't getting those extra senses or those superpowers, downloads, all just from being outside in these elements right now, then you are not on type of the time that you need to be on right now.
And
really got to do more work.
You know what I'm saying? The
Major.
synchronicities that are, if you're not noticing the synchronicities, if you're not noticing that, then you are not in tune. The synchronicities, there are going to be so many signs of synchronicities coming. You keep seeing the same thing over and over and over again. Or if you keep, you know what I'm saying? If you in the kitchen and you think about Billie Jean and the song come on, you know what I'm saying? And you doing whatever, and you thinking about your mother, all of a sudden you get a call from her, so you got to be, you tuned in when stuff like that is happening to you. You tuned in, but you can be tuned in and not tapped in. So what difference does it make if you tuned in and you're not utilizing what the universe is showing you? You know what I'm saying? So that right there, I mean, that's how I know I'm in tune, because it's like I can think of something and boom, either it's in my face, or I get a call from somebody, or I hear somebody else talk about it, or I turn on the TV and I see it. I turn on my phone and I see it. So that's how I know I'm in tune, and everyone should be getting these messages, or should be getting these synchronicities, and they should be taking advantage of them, that's how you know.
Yeah.
You know what? That's powerful.
That's basically where we are. And what happens with this 5D ascension, a lot of us are entrepreneurs here. And that's also what comes with you ascending spiritually. You no longer want to be around toxic people. You no longer want to be in toxic environments. You no longer want to listen to toxic music. You no longer want to feed your soul with toxic foods, drinks, and so on and so forth. We just said that. You want to be lighter. You want to be in nature, hearing birds chirp, going hiking, being around water. These are the things that you want to do. Your spirit is calling for you to be lighter. You want to unplug from the matrix and tap into Mother Earth a little bit more. And I think that's really where we are, because there's so much going on that if you're so consumed in the news and paying attention to Trump and, all this stuff that's going on, then you really are kind of missing it, because it's really almost impossible for us to keep up with all of that and still be tapped into the elements, and still be tapped in with your energy, to still be just tapped in general. You really have to find your soul family. I'm thankful for the tribe that I'm connected to right now, you all included, because if it wasn't for that, then I'm probably going to feel off balance, because I'm in a new city. I have no idea really what's around me, and it's really important to be able to tap into your resources, whether if it's person, place, or thing, so I think that's also important for us to remember. During this time, there's high layoffs happening. They're talking about Fed now and changing currency. We have so many train derailments. We have bridges going down, the food shortages. We have waters being poisoned. There's so much going on. You know what I mean? We really, really, really have to make sure that we're tapped in.
I like that tap in, because go ahead, Ken.
Special shout out to the street lost soldiers. A lot of them are on this chat right now.
Yes, peace.
Appreciate the support.
I like to tap in part because that's one thing I be saying. A lot of people, they don't be tapping in and they see the signs. I hear, you know what, the Christian membership is down. The Holy Ghost sanctified churches membership is down because a
They
lot of people,
sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost.
yeah, they waking up. You got to wake up because if insanity is keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. How can you continue to do that when you have no knowledge of self? And
Mm-hmm.
then you let them regurgitate information and give it back to you. Stories from ancient Kemet, stories from ancient papyrus. So you have to tap into this next thing. Queen mentioned ascension. You have to ascend. You have to do something in the future or do it right now where you can tap in and really start seeing things for what it is and get into the mentalism. The all is mind and the mind is mental. One of my favorite things is mentalism because once you change your mind, you can do a lot. You get what I'm saying? Once you change your mind, you can grow. Once you change your mind, you will start to read. You will know more. Everyone on this platform, hella read books. I'm a book person. I
Who?
make, I have books all. See, I have books all around me. And the one thing about a person who's tapping in, they're going to keep the knowledge around them, and they're going to keep the right people around them with the right energy, who can bring a certain level of positivity to you to feed into your spirit. Because when you out and you're the only person that's tapping in, and you're around certain a lot of people, they're going to keep asking you questions. They're going to keep trying to get you to enter into different dialogues. And like Shelly said, they ready for the summer. You know what I'm saying? To kick it and stuff like that. That's not the way. The way is you changing your mind, having real knowledge of self, knowing yourself, and do for self. It is reckless for you not to know your blood type. If you're a black man and woman, know your blood type. I'm just being for real. It's
As a
reckless not knowing your blood type. I'm just being for real. It is reckless for you not knowing what could hurt you as far as your allergies or what you're allergic to, certain medicines, certain herbs, because everyone is not good with everything. Something out here will hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Everyone is not Kal-El. Even Kal-El has something hurt him, which was kryptonite. So you got to tap in. It's only the way to do. This is the way. We have to stop making like our culture a fad or something like that. We had the eclipse happen and things of that nature. Queen talk about like vocal dialect been kicking out all kind of topics and stuff like that, and you're not paying attention, then something is wrong with you. This is not a fad. Our culture is not a fad. Everybody wearing unks. Tap in. Know what the unk mean. Know what it does. You know what I'm saying? If you around certain people, know what they stand for, what they believe in. You know what I'm saying? That's important. And then on top of that, though, if you're around someone, pay homage to them. You know what I'm saying? Every school of thought may not be for you, but it's helping that particular person change them. So we gotta pay homage to that and respect that. And I learned things from every school of thought. And I'm gonna just say this for us: every school of thought that I have learned about, the one thing I did learn is renew your mind. That's the Bible. It's everything is dealing with self. That's what I did learn. Islam, do for self, know thyself. Buddhism, Judaism, oneself. So you just got to tap in. I like that part, tapping in.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to our brother, man, our brother Tex Johnson on the feed, Peace and Black Power, brother. He said, he in the house, a good topic. Appreciate that, brother Tex.
Peace, Tex.
Hit that like button, Tex.
Yes, please.
But yeah, that the knowledge of self is very important. You know what I'm saying? Once you once you find knowledge of self, or once you obtain knowledge of self, the truth will find you. You ain't even gotta look far after that. You know what I'm saying? The truth is gonna find you. Your ancestors are gonna be tapped in. Every metaphysical thing that you need to be tapped into it's gonna come to you, and you're gonna want to read this book. You're gonna want to not eat pork no more. You're gonna want to, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna want to do all of the things to keep you in tune and let go of all of the things that don't.
Hey, you know what I like what you said, but man, you already probably ticked on this. I like the part when you said you could learn from every school of thought. You know what I mean? That's the
Absolutely.
truth, man. That's why
Absolutely.
I don't go around dissing nobody personal beliefs. I don't believe in that. You know what I mean? Because you know, all of us is this.
Yeah.
Here, no matter what you believe in.
Every school of thought has a piece of the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not gonna find the information, all of the information in one place. All of the information was stolen and thrown in different areas. So you're gonna have to look in different places. It's not gonna be all of it is not gonna be in the Torah. All of it is not gonna be in the Bible. All of it is not gonna be in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. All of it is not gonna be in one spot. You gotta look in different areas for it.
Yeah, I always like, appreciate people who are inquisitive because, thinking about our elders, I've been going to the same church for 50 years, this, that, and the third, I've been with my pastor for this long. And it's like, well, what did you learn from that? What did you learn from life? Because, I made it a point to study religion in college just because I wanted to learn about different schools of thought, understanding why people acted the way that they did. I was so drawn to yoga 15 years ago and I had no idea why, but just now understanding, feeling like I have access to my Akashic records. I'm like, my family were a bunch of shamans, and herbalists. They knew how to heal people. I opened my grandmother's medicine cabinet, and her whole medicine cabinet was essential oils. And I'm like, where's the prescriptions? I was about to be nosy. And she was like, this is how we healed each other. And I'm going to still keep doing that, So it's like, when you think about these types of things, she reads her Bible every single day. She also knows how to speak Hebrew and she speaks Spanish and Italian, but it's the same exact thing, language and schools of thought, to me, they're all one and the same. You're able to now speak to different people. And one thing about being able to do that, because everybody's not going to look the same. I always say, like, when you speak to a new people come to me and tell me their life story all the time, everywhere. And I'm like, bro, what do I have on my forehead? But it's like, I'm still getting something out of every single one of those conversations. You know what I mean? I'm patient enough to hear what these people have to say. Maybe it is my light or something that drew them to me, because I'm really chilling in the corner minding my business, like working 9 times out of 10. And now I know your whole life story, but I'm still gaining something from that energy. And I really, truly believe it's because now I've learned these different types of religions. I can relate to that. Oh, you're a praying woman too? I'm like, of course, like whoever my creator is, that's who I'm going to speak to. That's what I feel internally. So regardless, that's a neutral language. You know what I mean? People want to know that you believe in something. And if you can relate to people on that level, you can really relate to the whole world.
That's another form to me of separating ourselves, man.
And shout out to Dr. Malachi Z. York, because that is one thing that he did with his followers. He took them through every school of thought before he started the Nuwapians. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't always the Nuwapians. He started out as the Holy Tabernacle Ministries. Then it was Nubian Nation. Then he turned it into Nuwapian. But they studied every religion. They studied everything before they became the Nuwapian Nation. So shout out to him. Say what you want to say about him, but the brother is brilliant, and he has some just deep, intense knowledge that most of us won't even pick up a book to even look at because of the the reputation that he has. But that doesn't change how brilliant the brother is. You know what I'm saying? He has some dope literature that you can definitely, that would definitely help get you to your next level of your next level of understanding, and your next level of just spirituality.
And definitely his information made you research. So it would open up your knowledge frame as far as if you like the queen said, if you're inquisitive and you want to, what I'm saying, further the information that's inside of you. Because we hold information inside of us. Everyone don't know that. But we hold a lot of information inside of us. And that's how I started tapping in. A lot of people don't know this. I used to be a preacher in a church. I was the L. They called me the word man because I knew like so many scriptures. I mean, I knew I probably 100, 200 scriptures, easy, and as I kept reading, it wasn't clicking all the time. I can make those scriptures connect, but then I asked him a question about the book of Enoch, the book of Jasper. I asked him like, yo, why I say this right here and this right there? And the pastor almost had a heart attack. He hit his hand on the desk, pushed back. That's your problem. He analyzed stuff. He went hard on me, but it's cool though. I took all of that and I thought about it. And I thought about this. I'm also from the streets too. So a lot of my people, were pimps, hustlers, and stuff like that. So when he came off like that, I knew something was suspect. So after that, I started doing my own research. I started doing my own critical thinking, and I started building my knowledge. I started reading books, started researching. And that's what we have to do as a people. We don't have all the answers. And we wasn't there in those particular times, those time frames. We wasn't there in 300, 400, 500, all BCE, all the way up to now. But we do know one thing that's for sure. We melanated, and everything for us that's in the earth and outside the earth is in us. That's the cosmology of the black man. Like I just mentioned before, we knew that. And we also knew that we keep having these things happen where we have visions, dreams, things pointing you in the right direction. Every dream and vision is not a nightmare. And that's what the European Wazungu wants you to see. They want you to be like, oh, you having a nightmare. No nightmare. Those are ancestors telling you to get up, wake up. Something's about to happen. Something's about to change. But we have to, if you eat pork, you got pork worms on your brains. You gonna pay,
You
gonna
smoking weed, you can't dream.
you gonna be like it's a nightmare. But
Hmm.
if you try to tap in a little bit, build some type of what I'm saying, unity with other like-minded people, some synchronicity and some synergy, you know what I'm saying, and flow, then you're gonna be able to elevate, manifest, and then you can be able to get out that concrete cocoon you in.
Mm-hmm.
But back to what you were saying about we hold a lot of information, knowledge, when you were saying we hold a lot of information, and a lot of people, if you're not tapped in, you won't understand that you already you holding the information, because life is a journey where you remember what you already know. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of this information, you have those downloads. You just have to mentally upload it so you know it again. This ain't your first time on this planet. You know what I'm saying? You've been here several millions, maybe millions. It just depends on how many times you've been here, but you already know the information. You just got to tap into it. You know what I'm saying? So just you know it. You just got to remember it.
Hey, I'm gonna give a shout out to the brother Mike Chambers in the house, man. Appreciate it.
Peace,
What
Mike
up, Mike
Chambers.
Chambers?
Salute, brother man. Able to see you. I'm gonna hit you up too, brother.
I always say like we come to earth to learn how to love because the same letters, are in heart and earth. And, when I really think about earth, I really think of it being a school, to your point, Shelley, about how many times could we have been here. I mentioned tapping into your Akashic records, which is basically your soul's journey and remembering how many times you have been here. Why are you gifted with certain talents in this lifetime? maybe you were a masculine energy in another lifetime.
Mm.
I mentioned that my family were a group of shamans. The only reason why I know that they were is because I'm so attracted to plants and herbs in this lifetime. Like
Mm.
we have to be curious about this. And this is why I also say it's important for us to know our genealogy and our ancestry and speak to our elders while they're still surviving. You know how many people I've seen transition on my timeline this week alone?
Mm.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like this eclipse energy is doing something and we really have to pay attention to it. If you have any elders that are 65 and above, start sitting with them and recording those conversations. I know I did during the pandemic. These are things that we need to know because the more I started digging into my ancestry, the more I knew I got journalism from somebody who was an ancestor from 1889.
Yeah.
They were a journalist. I never even realized that, you know what I mean? But again, I would have never known where this gift came from if I didn't know my history. So again, it's really important for us to tap in. And I just want to emphasize again, it's important for us to be outside getting those sun downloads from Ra. I don't like when people are in the house all day during the summertime under artificial air. Get your black ass outside and get these downloads from your ancestors. We are in the hottest sun cycle ever. Okay.
Yeah.
There's going to be so much radiation coming to our planet. They're going to try to tell you to stay inside because they can't come outside.
Right.
It's going to be important that you are outside getting those downloads because it is meant for us. We're going to awaken, we're going to ascend, we're going to get darker, and we're going to get more enlightened, and our superpowers are going to be ignited. All these Marvel movies and all that crap that they got on TV, they're in honor of us.
Okay.
You know what? We know what we gotta do a Marvel special. We
We
gotta
do.
do one.
We really, really do.
We doing a Marvel special next. We gotta
We
get
gotta
into
do
it.
that. Cause
The
baby,
inspiration of the superhero
come on
That's
now.
came
right.
out of Kemet.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
The inspiration, just the inspiration
Yep.
alone, all
Oh,
these different ones they created.
Came from us.
It,
Everything came from us.
I'm telling you, the inspiration, even the whole Magneto
Yeah.
Xavier is Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Look it up. Look it up. It's Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. One is fighting for the mutants and don't and is practicing not being violent about it. And the other one is a rebel and want to just blow up the government and everything because they want to kill all of the mutants. It's the whole, they got that inspiration from Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
yeah.
You can look it up. I'm not,
I was
don't
just
even
watching
look
Black
it.
Adam over the weekend.
I want to.
Made of lightning.
And I want to give a shout out to the sister Lisa Shabazz. Her birthday was on, birthday was on the same day as mine. Peace and
Peace,
blessings.
happy solar return.
Yeah.
Peace, peace, peace. Before we get out of here, I do want to say, Queen, you mentioned stare, and in my research on the Twa people, that's one of the powers that they had. They had super superhuman like smell, and they can hear because they was always into nature, and they was never stuck in a house. You know what I'm saying? So they did not breathe or took in a lot of stale air. We thank everybody for all the comments. Any final words from you guys, Queen, Shelly, or Kimwato before we get off the live.
I want to say something, man. I appreciate we appreciate everybody that jumped on this live feed with us tonight. Every Monday, 8:15, we're gonna be doing a live feed. We appreciate y'all for looking at our videos all through the week and stuff, man. Thanks for supporting us. We really do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Continue to like, subscribe to the network, share this with 3 people because everybody needs to hear it.
I say.
Right.
All right. We thank Shelly for coming on our live with us too as well. Peace and power,
Thanks for
peace and
having me,
life,
y'all.
family. Thank you guys. We out of here. Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Peace. Stay dangerous.
Word.
I always be like this, guns up.